This is the Espressif ESP32-P4. This is the inside of the same ESP32-P4 chip, real silicon under a real microscope. But the very first question that comes to mind when we see this die is, why does this look so radically different from previous generations? For reference, here is the internal die of the classic ESP8266 and next to it the original ESP32. Notice that massive messy section on the edge, that's the RF front end. Those are the inductors, mixers and power amplifiers. Now look at the ESP32P4. That entire radio section is gone. When Espressif announced this chip, the hardware community was baffled. They built the most powerful chip they've ever made and completely pulled the radio out. No Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth. Espressif is the company that democratized the Internet of Things. For a decade, the word ESP32 has been synonymous with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. It's literally baked into the family name. Every chip before this one, the original, the S2, S3, C3, C6, H2, all of them were wireless. At first glance, it feels like a step backward, but as a hardware engineer, I saw something else, a massive strategic pivot. That wasn't an accident, that was a decision. And the die you're looking at right now tells you exactly why they made it. By the way, this teardown is the work of the brilliant folks at Electron Update on YouTube. They cracked this open, shot the die, and explained what's inside. Huge thanks to them. Do check out their video linked in the description. It's really worth your time. To understand the P4, you have to understand the physical cost of a radio. Look again at the ESP32 and the newer C6. That RF section takes up roughly 30 to 40% of the silicon space. RF components are expensive in terms of silicon real estate because they don't scale down well with Moore's law. While digital logic gets incredibly dense as we move to 40 nanometer or 28 nanometer nodes, an analog inductor stays roughly the same size because of the laws of physics. By removing the RF, Espressif essentially evicted a tenant that was taking up nearly half the apartment but only doing one job. This allowed them to fill that exact same space with high performance digital logic. Let's look at the P4 datasheet. In place of the radio, we now have MIPI CSI and MIPI DSI. In previous ESP32S, if you wanted to drive a high-res screen, you were stuck with SPI or 8-bit parallel interfaces. It was slow and CPU intensive. The P4 changes that entirely. With MIPI, we are talking about high-speed data lanes that handle 1080p displays natively. But it doesn't stop at the interfaces. They dropped in a hardware JPEG codec, a full image signal processor for auto exposure and color correction, and a pixel processing accelerator specifically for rendering buttery smooth GUIs. And look at this, a hardware H.264 encoder capable of streaming 1080p video at 30 frames per second. Most microcontrollers have to do video compression in software, which chokes the CPU. The P4 does it in hardware. This makes it a beast for smart doorbells, edge AI vision tasks. To feed all of this, look back at the die. See those large repeating block structures on the upper portion? That is the muscle behind this media engine, a massive 768 kilobyte layer 2 cache. Pushing video frames requires serious memory bandwidth, not the shared bus architecture you get when you're trying to squeeze a radio onto the same piece of silicon. But the P4 die isn't alone. There's a second die bonded on top of it. 32 megabytes of PS RAM stacked directly onto the SoC using bump bonds. Why go to the trouble of stacking it? Because the media workloads this chip is designed for, camera feeds, display buffers, video encoding, need a memory bandwidth that standard off-chip PS RAM over SPI simply cannot deliver. Stacking it cuts the latency dramatically. Then there's the noise factor. As a hardware design engineer, I can tell you that high-speed digital clocks and sensitive RF antennas are mortal enemies. When you have a built-in radio, you often have to artificially limit your CPU clock speed to avoid electromagnetic interference that would kill your Wi-Fi sensitivity. By ditching the radio, Espressif unleashed the dual RISC-V cores. The HP core runs at 400 MHz, the LP core runs at the 40 MHz. It's no longer just a connectivity chip, it's a full application processor. So, what if your product actually needs Wi Fi? This is where Espressif's new modular philosophy comes in. Look at this module teardown. They've paired the P4 with a cheap ESP32C6 companion chip. This closely mirrors how Apple or Samsung designs their phones, physically separating the application processor from the modem. This has three massive advantages for professional hardware. First, it makes you protocol agnostic. If Wi Fi 7 becomes the standard next year, you just swap the 50-cent radio chip. You don't redesign your entire high speed P4 motherboard. And building a complex high speed motherboard that perfectly routes 400 MHz processors and MIPI video lanes requires serious engineering discipline. You need an ECAD tool that manages the entire life cycle of the project. In a professional workflow today, we rely on capabilities like version control to track every design iteration and design reuse to speed up the development of complex motor drivers. We need a real time collaboration so mechanical and electrical engineers can work on the same chassis simultaneously, and rule driven checks to ensure the board is electrically sound before it ever goes to fabrication. If you're a student or an aspiring engineer watching this, you don't have to wait to get into the industry to learn these standards. I highly recommend checking out Altium Student Labs. It's an incredible resource where you can enroll for free to master these professional outcomes like DFM checks and supply chain risk visibility. These are the skills that separate a hobbyist from a professional innovator. You can find the link to enroll in Altium Student Labs for free in the description below. Second, certification. It's much easier to pass FCC or CE testing when your noisy application processor is physically separated from your transmitter. And third, security. The P4 has a dedicated secure entity. By separating the radio, you create a physical hardware firewall between the internet facing chip and your main application logic. The ESP32-P4 isn't for a $2 smart light bulb. It competes with application processors from NXP and ST. Removing the radio is Espressif saying, this chip stands on its own. It's built for the human machine interface market, industrial controllers, medical displays, and high end hubs where you need a beautiful screen and fast processing, but want the flexibility to choose your own wireless standard. Espressif didn't fail to add Wi Fi to the P4, they intentionally removed it to make room for greatness.